Okay, Dan Morgan. I see what you did. Let's get this sucker started.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews. Locker room insight. Let's huddle up for Panthers Playbook. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. Actually, no Chris Lea. Chris Lee is actually out on the road traveling a little bit. Dennis Cox here with you riding solo. Folks, day 2 of the draft. Dan Morgan, double dips on the edge rushers. Nic Scourton Princely Umanmielen. I hope I'm saying it right. I'm just going to say Princely because it's just a lot easier for me to say. I don't want to keep butchering his last name. But Dan Morgan, double dips on the edge rushers. Leave your thoughts in the comments on what Dan Morgan's done so far in the first 3 rounds of the draft. I'm not going to lie. I was skeptical after round 1 about the Tepper McMillan pick and about the true commitment that this franchise has had about fixing the defense in terms of building through the draft, not just signing free agents. Again, Chris and I have talked about the free agent signings about the Carolina Panthers, about the impact that they're really going to have in the run game, especially when you bring in a true nose tackle like Bobby Brown. Also, when you bring in a safety like Trayvon Mooring, who is capable and more than willing and more than capable of coming up towards the line of scrimmage, filling lanes and making tackles as well. What they did in the run game, absolutely awesome. And the question is, what are they going to do in terms of getting to the passer? Do you go back, 2017 was the last time that this Carolina Panthers team had multiple guys get double-digit sacks. 2017, Mario Addison and Julius Peppers. Since then, Hassan Reddick in 2021 and Brian Burns in 2022 are the only 2 guys that reached double-digit sacks on this team. And also, you look at what the Carolina Panthers have drafted over the last 10 drafts. Go back to 2016. They've only drafted 6 players that actually play on the defensive front. I'm talking down on the line, whether interior defensive lineman or an outside linebacker / DN, edge, whatever you want to call it. Only 6 since 2016. The most recent being DJ Johnson in 2023. And Dan Morgan double dipped in rounds 2 and 3 of the draft. On day 2 of this year's draft, Dan Morgan double dipped with the edge rushers. Now, Nic Scourton probably has, at least right away, a little bit more of the upside to be a true 3-down player. Better against the run. Average, I'd say above average size. All right, he's again, these guys are built to be outside linebackers. This is something to keep in mind when it comes to Evero's system. We've seen Brian Burns, Jadeveon Clowney, DJ Wanham, whomever is lining up on the edge, those guys got to drop into coverage at times. We've seen it before. We've seen Brian Burns and Jadeveon Clowney drop into coverage. That's what the system asks. But you bring in guys like Scourton, who has experience dropping into coverage. Princely is a true stand-up edge guy, true stand-up outside linebacker. Now, Princely, early in his career, probably going to be more situational pass rusher. The run defense probably isn't quite there yet, but you got to love what he brings in terms of his pass rush ability. Here's some numbers for you. This comes from Pro Football Focus, PFF College. This is actually posted back on March 22nd, so just over a month ago. Here's Princely's stats last season as a first-team All-SEC player at Ole Miss. PFF grade of 91.5. He had 11 sacks, 16 quarterback hits, 55 pressures last season, a 91.5 pass rush grade, and a 22% win rate. This dude knows how to get to the quarterback. At least get in the pocket. That's the big thing that this Carolina Panthers defense needs, is that guys that can really get into the backfield, whether it's the bend around the edge, whether it's just straight power rush, whatever it might be, guys that actually can get into the backfield, and that's what Princely does. That's 100% what Princely does. And you look at his size as well. He's 6'4", 244 pounds, arm length 33 7/8, which actually something that I think might be for edge rushers. You start to see that number come out a little bit more. We talk about from a talent evaluation standpoint, and just, do people have the physical measurables? Arm length becoming a big thing, because you want to make sure that you can that you don't get into the body of offensive tackles. Like you don't get swallowed up. And that's something that, again, just the physical traits of this guy, he can really bring. And then also you look on the other side for Nic Scourton, 33-inch arms himself. He's 6'3", 257 pounds. A little bit more of a powerful guy. Again, who's capable and has an experience of dropping into pass coverage too. But a guy that can probably be a true 3-down edge rusher right away. Now, something to keep in mind as well. Dan Morgan did say on Friday night, he was asked about looking at the current roster, what does it actually mean for Jadeveon Clowney now that these two edge rushers have been added to the mix? When he was asked about that, Dan Morgan says they will reevaluate the current roster following the draft when he was asked about Jadeveon Clowney's status. And it's worth noting, this comes from Mike K, Charlotte Observer. He said it's worth noting releasing Clowney would save $7.75 million on the cap. So if there's still a free agent out there that you want to potentially sign that could be a safety, because that's still something that's needed for this Panthers defense, maybe you save money in that regard. But let Clowney possibly just go ahead and go on to another place. Because you've brought in Patrick Jones. Now you've drafted Princely. You've drafted Scourton. And you still have DJ Wanham in the mix. And there's still DJ Johnson, which we're still waiting to see what he can do in his career possibly. So that outside linebacker that edge rusher room, it's crowded now, but it's okay because I love these two picks. Again, I was skeptical after day one about, all right, what is the Panthers' commitment really to fixing the defense? And they went and got, again, take away Travis Hunter because he's a unicorn. But after Travis Hunter, you got the number 1 wideout, at worst the number 2 wideout, depending on how you wanted to rank McMillan versus Matthew Golden from Texas. And you got 2 edge rushers that can help you right away. Dan Morgan, didn't know you had it in you, man. Didn't know you had it in you. Leave your thoughts in the comments, what you think about this pick these picks so far, and what Dan Morgan is doing. Dude's cooking. Again, I was skeptical. I was a little bit, I was cautiously optimistic. Dan Morgan, you're cooking. Dan Morgan, cooking right now. Now, there's still a lot of holes that need to be done. Day 3 of the draft, I still think they need to get a safety. They still need to get a corner because they're very thin at those positions, but safety and corner need to be addressed. Watch out for a speedy running back, by the way. A speedy running back that can help complement Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. Again, as a compliment, not an every down guy, but a speedy running back, again, to add speed to the offense. Brashard Smith, SMU. Watch out. Round 5. Calling it right now. Brashard Smith, round 5. I would love to see it. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'd love to see it. Again, leave your thoughts in the comment section. Chris and I will have another episode for you guys coming out, most likely on Monday morning. All right, Monday morning, we'll have another episode for you all, breaking down the entire draft for the Carolina Panthers. A lot of moving and shaking for the Panthers and Dan Morgan. Who's cooking right now? Who's cooking right now? We'll see y'all next time. Y'all be good.